is a loud yell, and you see a shield and what seems like maybe the upper third of one of the Amazonian hoplites' bodies is flung, landing and tumbling across the sand. And allow me to add some ambiance. You hear additional yelling, and you hear somebody from inside yell out, "It's loose! It's loose!"
It's loose.
That's not good. Oh shit.
Body fall. Is that a green dragon? Yo, it's animated.
Oh
Where's body
shit,
fall?
it's animated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captured Russian green acid dragon seems to have escaped as it comes thundering up, stomping its feet, flailing its head. Every bit of its skin seems to be dripping a greenish acid that lets off little slivers of smoke every time it touches the floor. The remainder of the Amazon's body that was in its maw kind of falls apart as it all drops down to the ground in kind of a mushy mix. And it opens its mouth, additional acid kind of dripping and running down. Before we end today's session, I would like all of you to roll me initiative.
It's loose. It's what do you mean? It's how did it get loose? Now!
Of course, now.
Hide. Grieve later. Kick
What
ass now.
is our luck?
Темная ночь, только пули свистят по степи, только ветер гудит в проводах, тускло звезды мерцают.
Alright. Got my dice, got everything lined up. Ah! Last time on Due West, we left off with Wondrous Company making their way through the Georgian mountains to find the elusive and potentially still hidden Amazonians of ancient Greek lore, which rumors and speculation from some observers in the region would suggest that they were up in this mountain range. Wondrous Company doing some exploration, causing a few avalanches, meeting some dragonkin.
Oops.
Little bit of oops. Did find some refugees, we'll classify them, and figure out a way to get them back and safe to the Zagros estate, which will be entertaining to see how that goes once they arrive. However, until then, you guys decided to go back up into the mountains with the aid of the Dragonkin's kind of direction, where you did stumble upon a Soviet kind of motorized group traveling around who seemed to be actively engaged with some very Greek-clad women, some Adonis-like women. And you quickly realized, well, these must be the Amazons. Making friends with them through combat.
I first realized they were really hot, but
That
whatever.
too. Whoa, they're really hot. Wait, they got shields. They must be Amazons. Doing some combat cooperation, you ended up gaining at least that scouting team's trust, who brought you back to their mountain abode. A very oddly Greek and kind of green and not as snowed little, almost like volcanic cup in the top of one of the peaks. Almost like it's magically protected or perhaps even hidden. And where you got to meet the queen. The queen being, and let me double check my notes before I give the wrong one, Antiope of the Amazons. The official title of queen being the Basilissa. Her being a little speculative of you guys, but also having enough...
Stone.
right. Having enough understanding of who and what the Soviets were, and the situation going on in the region around them in Georgia and Azerbaijan. They're understanding, but they didn't really have an out. However, they can't openly trust Wondrous Company. They don't know exactly who you are. They don't know if it's a full long con of sorts. So they gave you guys some trials to prove yourselves. If you could pass these trials, you would be considered trustworthy of that of an Amazon. These trials are tasks that other Amazons had to go through when situations dictated their trust or dedication may be wavering. You guys did a very impromptu interpretive dance. You wrote a informational docket on the general Encyclopedia Britannica pocket size for them to show your intelligence, and were tasked with writing a speech, something to rouse them. However, understanding that may take a little more time, and to drop something on a group a little suddenly, decided, let's complete your other tasks first, as you seem relatively ready and capable before we progress to that one, considering you're not only convincing me with these trials, you're going to be needing to convince all the rest of the Amazons, and a speech after these initial trials may land a little heavier on their hearts, and they won't listen to you purely because the Queen says they need to, but because they too will trust you better. So with
since
that,
Leroy's not here, I'm controlling his character. The first thing he's gonna do is drop his pants, put his arms out wide, and say, "Are you not entertained?"
we've seen
No.
bigger.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna just take to my water.
As we'll pan on over here back to the arena, we have the Queen step forward and look to you all, and kind of gives a nod, overlooking you from side to side as I try to figure out why the music won't pause. There we go.
I gotta watch the stream. Whoops.
Whoops.
I forgot.
All good.
See?
Overlooking you, and then looking out to the sides, seeing many of the Amazonian hoplites and various different military positions and trades within this group, almost all of them armored in various ways, kind of prioritizing that all are fighter capable, whether they primarily are purpose for fighting or security or craft work or farming of the sorts. But none of them really seem entirely swayed as of yet by any of your performance. Some of them very entertained, some of them giggling to each other as they watch a bunch of these strange men dance around and frolic. But the Queen's realizing it's not quite convincing. It's convinced her pretty well, but she needs to make sure it convinces the others. Very well. We have your next challenge in mind. Those of you who wish to partake in it, I ask that you remain standing forward. If you are not going to partake in this challenge, I ask that you step back onto the raised platform.
Still not gonna give us any indication of what they are.
No, probably not.
Alright.
I'm sure we
Well,
can manage.
Not in the slightest.
Leroy's over here like, I think I might have pulled something in the last event, so I might sit this one out for just a spell.
Pull the hamstring.
Leroy's rubbing his hamstring a bit. He'll step back, kind of has a Charlie horse. He'll step back on the plinth and kind of give a nod, and then briskly, gentlemanly walk over to the kind of side steps and sit back, takes off his boot, starts addressing the fucking, like, cramp going down his leg, the Charlie horse.
Dance did a number on him.
Evidently.
His dex
Old
save
man just
failed.
can't move.
That is why you stretch first before you do anything.
You stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
How old are you,
vital to
Thorin?
stretch.
Uh,
10.
younger than you.
Then I think you will understand when you get older.
Maybe.
She kind of looks to all of you, gives one kind of solitary nod, and looks over to the, what you can assume to be one of the formation officers next to her, one of the ones you saw on the patrol. Excuse me. And kind of smiles to her. She smiles and gives a brisk nod back and will step back, kind of disappearing, where you can get the notion she's pulling some sort of lever. And the raised ground above you starts to shake a little bit. And the ground and the sand kind of sifts just a tad. And with this steady tumble on the soil, she leans forward, the queen does, and looks over at you all again. If you all would please stand upon the raised platform, we can begin our next trial.
It's the raised platform.
Yep, right in the middle of the arena.
I swear, if this is another dance,
Bulls just start rising up from the platform.
Okay.
no, 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 no.
2 minutes
that
with
tail, though.
Bonesaw, the cage match.
But this is actually just American Gladiator,
Bones.
but I guess Georgian Gladiator, where we have to fight our way and knock somebody off the little plane.
All right, it's Monkey Ball. She kind of looks to you. With strength comes a need to show restraint, to be able to analyze a situation and overcome it not with brawn, but with intelligence, sometimes compassion, sometimes understanding. A father will destroy anything that gets between them and the mother or their kids. A mother will destroy anything, including the father, if it means protecting her child. And a child will more often than not run to the father as their first source of protection. When you find yourself locked in the middle of this familial issue, you have to find a way to passively navigate the circumstance. I wish to see a resolve in this. As the ground raises, you guys see rising up from a little cage that opens up a female owlbear, angry, somewhat enraged, looking around frantically. To your north, another cage rises up with a baby owlbear. And to the opposite side, another cage opens with a somewhat larger, very angry male owlbear.
Oh, this is a.
I would like everybody to roll me initiative.
You know, this is
I
not
think
what I
it's our best bet to get out of the way.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
This is not a dance. Right in the middle. Nice.
Keeping up the trend of terrible initiative rolls in the main campaign.
Hell yeah.
As a party,
Ashu
I
seems
think
to
that is-
always get good initiative rolls, and he actually has advantage on all of them too.
Did you roll your initiative as the cannon instead of you?
No, I
No,
rolled
the
it as me.
cannon's just over his icon.
Oh, okay.
You probably clicked the cannon instead of me, which is fine, because I mean.
I think
at
you
the same
clicked the
time-
cannon because on the initiative it's showing the cannon. Oh well, it's fine.
Oh, well, that's weird because like, oh, whatever.
It works.
Yeah.
He is the cannon, and the cannon is him. So
It's the cannon
We are
man.
one and the same.
All of
man.
you have enough knowledge to know that getting between bears and family relations with bears is already a bad thing. I don't believe anybody in the party has ever actually had an encounter with an owlbear, but It's
Nope.
somewhat common knowledge that owlbears are particularly more aggressive. The strength of a
cocaine
bear, cocaine bear, but with the intelligence and precision of an owl in how it strikes. Top of the turn order. Hachu, what are you doing?
Yeah, for once. Well, I'm gonna cast snare on one of them.
Ooh, all right. Which one are you gonna cast that on?
I'll just cast it on the closest one to me over here.
That will be the Father Owlbear. I do believe I need to roll a dex save on snare, correct?
I believe you're correct.
Let's see.
Yes.
Snare. Ba-ba-ba. And I gotta beat a 15? Shit, okay. Oh, fuck. That's only a 14.
Straight out of the gates there. Now you're just gonna. Okay.
I think we should stay not involved as much as possible.
A sort of
Although-
magical webbing and mixture appears and kind of wraps over the top of it, pulling it to the ground as it's locked in place and lets out a loud, kind of eagle-like screech. Its front claws kind of digging into the dirt, trying to move forward.
I'm just gonna end my turn there for that.
Alright.
I got moving.
I don't feel like taking a gun out and shooting one of them is probably not a good response.
Don't
Oh,
want to
no.
move.
Moving?
Maybe away from the middle.
Somewhere like over here.
Or like, yeah, that way, like 30 feet. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, yeah.
Go slithering past you guys up over there.
And blast and run. Yeah. No. Go.
Alright, next up we got Peter.
How hard would it be to grab Torin and just drag him along?
If he's willing to go willingly, it would just be a strength check on your part. If he's going to contest it, it will be opposing strength.
Because I don't like how low in the initiative list he is for running away.
Are you gonna object to being carried
No, I
away,
s-
Torn?
Well, maybe like the carrying. He's probably just gonna like drag like a fucking statue, like sliding in the dirt.
Every single character art I imagine with Torin in it. Just somebody grabbing the back of his thing and him just looking like through a binoculars or something like that. at something.
Peter,
Being
give me
kobold
a,
handled.
Give me a flat strength roll.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
look at that.
Nice.
You
Nice.
grab him by the back of the collar and you just kind of drag him on like his back heels and claws and just kind of
Mhm.
like bring him with you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
He's just observing.
Torn gets a free
Yep.
movement as he is drug away by Father Peter.
You reach back, grab him by the collar, drag him along.
Just kind of bring him with you, like, oh, okay, I'm luggage. What else you got, Peter?
It's like, come on.
Um,
These are fascinating specimens. I will say that.
He's also heavier than he looks.
Got some
do I
things.
get an action on top of this, or was grabbing Torin my action?
We'll say that's your item interaction. You do still have an action and bonus action.
Oh, that's what I.
You hear that, Torin? You're an item. I'm casting Bless on the two of them and Hachu.
On which two?
Sorry, the two that are still over here.
Oh.
Nikos and Wilhelm.
Nikos and Wilhelm. Gotcha. Alright. Hachu, Nikos, and Wilhelm. Add a bless to your capacity. It's a
That's cool.
D4 on their next ability check.
On
It's
ability
all,
checks for the next minute.
Gotcha. Sweet.
It's ability checks and attack rolls.
And
right?
saving. I thought it was saving throws.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's just
so-
saving throws.
Can we roll it so it is ability checks too? Please, DM.
As what?
Officially, it's only for saving throws and damage, and hit rolls. Can we add it to ability checks as well?
Mm, I believe there's another spell that influences ability checks, but because I can't think of
there
it
is
off
too.
the top of my head, I believe it's
be-
aid or something like that that particularly helps
it
with
might be-
those.
What
I
aid
have
was
actually.
it? Temporary HP.
Yeah, aid is
Aid.
temporary
Bless
HP.
affects
It might
those.
be guidance.
Guidance. I think it's guidance that affects skill checks. There is another spell that specifically affects skill checks. I don't recall it off the top of my head, but I know that it exists, so I will have to say nay for the time being. However, we will look into seeing and making sure if you have that spell that affects skill checks.
Well, they still have bless, so that should help with saving throws.
Oh yeah. I need to
Yeah,
make a
saving
dex
throws will
saving
still be handy.
throw to see if they can bust out of this. So, let's see here.
Yeah, guidance is a D4 to 1 ability check of a choice.
Gonna make it with disadvantage.
But it's also a
So
cantrip,
it
right?
doesn't like your net very much.
With
Guidance
a
a
nice
cantrip?
magical, I believe it is.
It wasn't 3.5. I don't know if it is in 5e.
I think it still
Pretty sure it
is.
is.
It should
Sorry.
be. You hear a nice magical kind of rope tearing sound as one of the claws reach up and it rips the spell out and completely dematerializes it as the owlbear raises back up and is now just looking at the two of you still on the platform.
That's a good owlbear. Nice owlbear.
5, 10, 15, 20. And it only has its bonus action. So it's
Nice
going to
bear.
make a bonus action bite against you.
No, it's going for Nikos.
That is a 16 to hit, Nikos.
No.
It goes and tries to swing its head and kind of like bite into you, kind of peck you with its somewhat more like dense beak, and you just kind of raise your shield up and ping, parry it to the side. But it gives a really nice
Nice, owlbear.
rattle.
Nice owlbear.
Wilhelm!
But are the other two in cages still, or did they just get put up?
They're out of cages as well.
Okay.
They're all fully unrestrained.
Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Stop it. Stop it with your
Would like to
shit.
read the information on this spell, accidentally cast it instead.
No, yeah. I
Fireball.
really hit the little eye fucking thing.
Hey, what's this one do? Cast Fireball. Oh no!
Okay, that's normal. That's for me. That's one action. Okay. So I believe, yeah, Nikos is literally right next to me. Nikos, I'm going to reach out
Oh.
and touch you, and cast invisibility on you.
Oh.
Oh.
Alright.
You're now invisible for up to an hour unless I get hit and my concentration drops, or you cast attack, or
Oh
cast. a
no, an
spell.
invisible wall.
An
Seen a
invisible
Looney Tunes
wall.
episode about this.
Dear God.
And then I'm just gonna move my shit off to the side right now. I'm gonna put it right next to thing.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say it's on my shoulder because it is a small item.
That works
that's why I had it
perfectly
on top
fine
of
by
me.
me.
And then I am not in anybody's threatened square as far as I can see. So let me just GTFO. Head over there.
Run over to the little mound of snow, stopping in it.
Oh, is that what that is? I
Sorry.
assume those were clouds.
Yeah,
I thought there were clouds too. but
little
snow makes
packs
more
of
sense.
snow that fell in. Alrighty. We now get to Mother Dearest, who, let me measure here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Nikos, I will require a dex save from you, good sir.
Alrighty.
Oh, they're gonna go kiss, and you're gonna be in the middle of it.
Oh.
Oh, I can't even help that one. cannot even help with that one.
Oh,
We
that's
can't help
great.
with that one.
Let me preface this in case you're wondering. They rolled a nat 20 on their intelligence check as to why the hoplite just disappeared. They
He's
understand
invisible!
he went invisible in front of my husband, this motherfucker.
Nikos, it has object permanence!
With that nat 1, you will be taking double damage. Charge! After failing a dex save, you will take... Let me roll the damage, since we're doubling it. You take 16 bludgeoning damage. You will invisibly fly 10 feet and land on the edge of the stone, scooting on your back. And you will be stunned next turn, implying that you will have half movement and no action next turn. Only a bonus
Okay.
action.
So, DM, observing this, am I
Whoa.
aware that Nikos was hit
Fuck.
perhaps the chipping stone as he landed on the steps?
Well,
I definitely
considering
exclaimed, "Off!"
the female
as I got
owlbear
launched.
charges and their shoulder and head buckles against something, and you see and hear a very distinct, recognizable shield scrape on the tile 10 feet away with a, you know what happened, yeah.
Oh shit.
They're then going to 5, 10. Let me roll perception to see if they were paying enough attention. That's an 18. They know exactly where you landed. They're going to throw 2 melee attacks. First melee attack. I gotta do it at disadvantage because you are invisible. That will miss. Second melee attack. That is a 19 to hit.
Nope.
That will miss as well. You'll manage to roll to the left and dodge the first one. The second giant clawed bear mitt comes swinging down and almost cracks the tile as you parry it to the side with your shield and it smacks. Bonus action, we'll try to bite said position.
If he is invisible, all bonus actions against him are at disadvantage.
So
I mean,
double.
all attacks.
Yep, so double disadvantage for this one then. Because I've been making all these at disadvantage while he's invisible. Oh, that's only a 5. That ain't gonna hit. It tries to peck towards you, but you've already scooted a couple inches to the side as the beak just takes a chip out of the cement and kind of like
I realize I've
stone
been
next to
muted.
you. Oh, good.
I've been muted for most of this. I was gonna say, when I went back, can I just like let the guys know that like, if anybody wants, I still have the nets in my bag. And that's all I was gonna say. I forgot about that.
Gotcha. Female owlbear is angry. Male owlbear is happy to be reunited. However, they are quite angry at the invisible thing that they are trying to beat up. Nikos, it's your turn, bud.
Yeah. Okay.
Nikos, wherever you are, be not there, maybe. You know.
No duh. So you
Um,
said I have 15 movement.
You'll have half movement and no action this turn.
Okay.
As you are staggered, or stunned rather, by the shoulder checking from a 600-pound owlbear.
That's nothing.
But I still have a bonus action.
You do still have your bonus action.
Okay.
Misty step. I don't even know if you have
Exactly.
it.
Actually,
Wait,
yes.
you have Misty step?
He
Oh,
does,
Yes.
yep.
awesome. Sorry, I typically.
Whoop.
I've been watching.
The invisible nothing poofs as a little bit of dust just kind of to the side, and then next to you, you hear a little as you're
Is
sitting
Misty
on your
Step
butt
considered a
still.
spell?
It's a
Or is
spell.
that a spell like ability?
Apologize.
It's
Okay,
a
he
spell.
comes up and he's back. He's visible again.
Oh,
Is it?
If Misty Step is a spell, he's visible. If
Yeah.
it's a spell like ability, then he's not.
Oh yeah, it's a spell, so I'm visible then. Okay.
You are now
Cool.
visible over there.
take that off as you pop up over there, now visible once again, looking a little dusty and impacted. There's like 2 owl feathers sticking out of the corner of his like armor.
I look
Yes.
at you, I'm just like, sorry, I was trying to help you.
That's fine.
Nikos, one of your pecs is dented.
I noticed.
Like, not the armor, his actual pec.
Oh god, just bruised peck. Is that all you
That
got,
wasn't
Nikos,
that
for
much
now?
damage. Yeah, that's all.
All right. Baby Owlbear, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, runs over and is going to tuck besides dad and mother, who seem happy to see it. Torin.
It's just that. I mean, that's it, right? That's just,
Is no
I think
action,
we should
no
keep
movement.
backing away.
He's just gonna kind of like stand there, like what? Like what? What do you want me to do? No action, no movement.
No action, no movement. All right.
Hold action maybe, but yeah.
What particular action are you wanting to hold?
Probably just gonna keep a hand on his whip.
Gotcha. Hachu, top of the turn order, back to you.
Yep. Hey, you weren't expecting to be here for it, were you? I was here for it. Ah.
I do appreciate it. What do
Well,
we got?
the- well, I. So, alright. So what's the approach we're gonna take here, guys? They're really angry, right?
I mean, they seem to be calming down.
Look, I could put up a wall of fire around us, right? And make sure.
It seems a lot like overkill.
I feel like fire might upset them.
Yeah, that might make things worse.
I mean, you can always hold action in the event they do something like,
Yeah.
try to be aggressive towards you.
It's such a weird shot of an owlbear.
Yeah, it's an odd pose. It's like reared up and like
There we go.
kind of got his
I'll
claws
give
out.
myself some
Ah.
false life, so I can
Alright.
take at least one more hit.
I appreciate the PDF shadow. Or the PNG shadow.
Right? That shit
That
was
actually is
fucking
pretty
dope.
awesome. I will definitely give that some credit.
I
Alright.
rolled it as a 2 or higher.
D4 plus 4. Oh, higher. Hey.
4 plus 4. Fit another 5 on top of that.
Nice. Torrance is like glancing at the queen, like, what? Did you expect us to like get in the way of that or something? Like what? You think we're that bloodthirsty?
Hey, you hit yourself a false life and you feel kind of invigorated, a little more kind of life to you. What else you got?
Oh, just scoot back a little bit more.
Sounds good.
That's about it.
Peter.
How the tables have turned.
Oh, the turntables.
How the
Table be
turntables.
turning.
Wiki,
So lazy
wiki,
Susan.
Wiki, wiki,
Um,
wiki fresh.
I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna stand next to Nikos, and I'm gonna pull out a day's worth of rations from my pack, and I'm gonna hold action on light, and I'm gonna tell Nikos that if they come close, I'll cast light on it, and he can throw it as a distraction.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, Torrance is looking at the queen like a Bostonian who almost got hit by a taxi doing the shoulder shrug. Like, ah, what the hell?
She's just kind of looking. She's kind of resting her chin on one hand and kind of tapping her cheek as she's watching. She's got a little bit of a clever smirk on her face. She's kind of surprised a little bit. As we get to your father.
Expect us to just kill random animals?
20, 25, 30, who's going to move to
maybe.
the edge of the platform and is going to posture up. I would like a perception roll from the 5 of you.
2.
Damn.
Perception. 7.
Ooh, Nikos is rolling low today.
Yeah, man, this is great.
It matches. Torn's just been observing the whole time, just watching.
Right.
Fucking galaxy
Corruption.
brain math equations in the air kind of shit.
Perception, right?
Perception.
Yeah.
Perception. The French act of looking.
Wow, that was
Very
terrible.
Active looking.
And
But that
Hachu.
also might fit in exactly what I was thinking of.
Ooh, snow. You're like dancing in the snow. And Hachu, let's get that perception roll from you.
Perception.
Perception. That
He's
good
here for
ol'-
his turn, but not for the perception check.
Oh no! Let's see here. Whoop, let me scroll down here. Where is dude? Where is the did? Where is doodad diddle? Where is? Oh fuck!
Still better than me.
Oh,
You know, I'll just say that he passed, because that doesn't feel fair. My first roll, it's a nat 1. That doesn't seem right. Peter and Torn, both of you kind of look over at Hachu, and then look
we
over
go.
at the owlbears. Ah, there it is.
There's it.
Oh,
Hachu-
19,
Hachu's
much
good.
better. Alright, perfect. Yeah, Torn and Peter, you both kind of look over at Hachu. Hachu, you're focused on the owlbear. And the three of you kind of connected, Wilhelm and Nikos not so much, that the main focus, the main thing that they're glaring at is kind of a parallel situation to the griffin hen that you met. Yuan-Ti are naturally hated by most creatures. They feel very on guard around them, and seeing a large black and red one is throwing up every red flag within this owlbear's mind. He seems specifically focused on him. However, he is holding his position and making a defensive posture on the edge of the platform. Wilhelm!
Maybe you should leave,
Ah.
Hachu.
So I see
Yeah,
none
you
of this.
think?
So I'm not gonna say anything to Hachu. If I saw it, I would say something to him. But I see none of this. But I am still going to cast. Let's see. Where do I want this centered? Nope. I think I want to center it right here. So I don't think that hits him technically, but you be the judge of that. I'll adjust it.
It
if I need
technically
to.
does hit his square.
Okay. So then we'll do. There.
Perfect.
I'm casting web. Essentially, but before I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move back to over here, and then in that same 20-foot cube. What's that? I don't know if that was it. We'll do it like centered on myself. Why not? I'm casting web, so that means it's all difficult terrain. We're all potentially gonna be stuck in it. However, it might protect us, and they won't be able to charge through because they might get stuck.
All right.
So that square right there is all
interesting
web,
play.
including the two women up in the stands.
Yeah, the stands and some of the women are getting hit by this, like, ah! Some of them.
Why would you do that?
Wilhelm getting his sticky stuff all over the Amazons.
Hey, yo.
Yo.
How you doing?
How do I draw
Shit,
a
it's a Joey
rectangle
Tribbiani.
that remains?
You literally just do the rectangle thing. It's one second. Here, I can do it. Rectangle. Oh, you got it.
There we go.
Here, do you want me to put it on so you can see it exactly where it was?
Yeah.
No, you could just should be able to adjust this to sides. Yeah.
Need a bigger reptile angle.
Reptile angle.
There we go. All right, perfect.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Nice. Look at that.
Some of
And
the
some
crowd
idiot-
laughs too. The girls get stuck like underneath their shields and are kind of like laughing and trying to lift off. And yeah, all the ground around you guys turns into difficult terrain.
So I believe at the start, maybe it's oh yeah, it starts to turn in the web. So we don't have to worry about anything now. I don't know if I have to, because I think that's only if I start my turn in them. It doesn't say anything about ending your turn in them. So I guess we're not technically stuck until it's our turn.
Until it's your turn, then you can determine whether you're
yeah.
stuck or not.
Why
Yeah. But
would
basically
you
right
do
there,
that?
I look at the rest of you and I go, if they come towards us, they might get stuck. And it will keep them from possibly making it to us. Only if they get stuck in this will I send firebolts at the spots they're stuck. This
I'm
is
gonna kill
completely
you.
defensive. This is
We're
completely
not trying
defensive.
to hurt them.
This
Don't
is
do
completely
that.
defensive.
Don't you
I
have
don't.
like non-lethal methods?
This is non-lethal. It stops them in as they run into it.
But
That
the whole
is,
sending firebolts at them isn't exactly non-lethal.
they don't know that, and as of right now, this is so they cannot charge me. And that's my
Remember,
turn.
Nikos, my action is holded.
Yeah.
All right. We now get to Mother, who is going to co-opt her turn with Babby, and is going to back up to here with Babby and pass their turn. Nikos.
All right. I'll take that food. Hopefully, try and get the dad off of us.
All right. You take the food in hand and you kind of heft it a little bit. It's like a wrapped up food ration, kind of like a sea rat almost.
Oh, actually, first, I need to do dex saving throw, right? Since this is
Yep.
the start of my
Try
turn.
to make a dex save to see if you
Unless-
kind of get stuck.
Unless you want to actually
Let's
fail it.
go!
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say you can auto fail it and you're just stuck in place.
Nah, you ain't stuck. He's
Huh.
fine.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take the net 20 there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the food.
What you doing with the food?
Well, I'm gonna throw it, probably over here, hopefully trying to get the Papa Bear away from us.
Gotcha. Are you gonna have Peter cast light on it, or are you just gonna huck the food?
I think light would be a good idea. Draws more attention.
Alright. Peter, -1 spell slot for casting light on it if you do
Not
want
a
to cast
spell
light.
slot, it's a cantrip.
Ah, okay. It's
Cantrip,
Ah.
bonus action.
Shit.
You
Alright, yeah.
Remember, I got you to agree it was a bonus action when I got it.
I remember. You put your hand over the kind of enlarged tuna can, and it starts to glow almost like it's got a material in it that's not supposed to. You kind of heft back
You're right,
and
yeah.
grenade toss your giant tuna can. It flies over, lands with a clank, kind of slides across the ground
There
glowing.
you go.
And the owlbear will kind of look to it, kind of looks back towards you, and will slowly start backing his way up. We'll pick
There
it
you
up
go.
in one big old clawed hand, kind of brings it to his chest, and continues backing up slowly back towards the others, where
But detonate
combat
it.
will end
Yeah.
as the ground starts to as the ground starts to raise a little bit, and the owlbears and the section that they're on find themselves receding down into the underworkings of the theater. However, it does leave you guys all standing there,
How hard is Nikos?
kind of enwebbed.
Did you say how hard is Nikos?
I imagine
How hurt?
probably
hurt?
not
Oh.
very hard.
Not.
How hard
I'm not hurt too much.
Yeah, but I still got lay on hands.
I'm at 48 out of 64.
Torn kicks his
Oh,
way
how
out
much
of the
XP do you
webs in
need?
frustration.
Oh,
Roll me a
I just
dex
dropped the
save.
web.
Oh, you just
Did,
drop it?
20.
Oh shit. Yeah, you just kick your way out of it like
16.
you're kicking up weeds.
As soon as they go down, I drop the web.
16.
Yep.
Alright, pop yourself off.
Thank you, sir.
We'll say I cast it on you at the same time, because it's an incidental, so... at least I think it's an incidental. We'll say I cast it on you when I hand you the food.
Thanks.
I'm not very much of a fan of this whole not knowing what is going to happen.
There's a little bit of some cheers, some clapping. A couple of the Amazonians are standing and giving kind of an ovation. They seem rather impressed by that. They're rather tickled, and the queen and the captain next to her seem pretty happy with that. She's kind of nodding to the other one, and they seem to be talking quietly to each other. She has a nice smile on her face.
We didn't do anything. We just. Is that the goal to not?
Maybe the
Conflict resolution.
maybe it's in this point restraint was the goal.
Yeah, I think it was.
Go ahead.
I think it was to see what kind of people we are. Whether or not we would just start killing innocent creatures on sight.
Well, he is Russian person, he is snake person, he is dragonkin-ish person, he is blue person, he is annoying person. Man, that last one he points at Leroy.
You are correct in your assumptions. This was a practice of restraint. You obviously
was an
being
annoying person?
very war-fighting and capable warriors. It is always good to show that, like an Amazonian, you can have a more delicate and diplomatic hand in how you handle things. When there's no reason to
there's one
destroy a
time-
family, why should you?
Well, there was this one time when we rescued a griffin. That was fun.
You had an encounter with a griffin.
Only in
We did.
retrospect was it fun. At the time, it was rather scary.
I can
It was a
imagine.
bit tense.
The few times we attempted to tame them did not pan so well. They are rather
Oh,
rather
They're
difficult.
proud.
I'm the one who squared off with it.
You did.
Yeah.
Consider me impressed.
He shrugs.
wow.
Very well.
Hands in his vest pockets, shrug.
I believe every one of my companions
Rose
and
has
kin
his
here
stars.
are impressed with your lack of application of your brawn. However, being a warrior also comes with its need for space, its need for footing. Often, one must fight without knowing exactly why or where.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Swear if we have to fight blindfolded, I'm gonna be so mad.
I ask that you all step into the center of the plinth for your second to last challenge.
Ah! 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 Ah!
He's cubing. Ah,
Ah! He's about to
He's
hit.
going cube.
Michael! Michael!
I would like you guys to place yourselves where you think you would be standing on this platform.
Platform. Atu, are you still there?
He's getting that sharp cutie board.
Sharp cutie. Sharp cutie.
Cop cuties, cute and on duty, baby blue booties. Go ahead
Sharp
and lock
coochie.
me up.
The snake is
Rest
defeated by
me from-
stairs once again.
The stairs have defeated all two of them.
He's like a Roomba.
Yeah, my
Bonk.
turn.
Place yourself where you think you would be on this platform. What am I hearing?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
There,
Sorry,
I'm on
Lucky.
the,
Incredibly intense monologue leading up to why we're standing on the platform.
yeah, here. Yeah, I'm putting myself where I am. Should be, I think.
Alrighty. As you guys go to stand there, kind of looking outwards, looking to each other, not quite sure what to expect.
You're not on mute.
What are you listening to?
Oh,
Jersey Shore?
Hang on, give me 1 second.
Is that coming through headphones, Dave?
Sorry.
Oh, good. Just
Should be is it coming
audio
through more? Is it
levels.
still?
No,
So
it's
that's
not
the s-
picking it up. You're good.
Or he's got to
Okay,
get
so-
his soaps in.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Gotta figure out what happened to Jersey Shoresy. As you
Let's see more
guys are
girls.
standing
Jersey
at the
Shore,
ready,
Jersey.
you kind of look outwards as you can see a raised hand come from the hoplite Amazonian standing to the far left side, wearing a little bit more gowns rather than armor, and actually not wielding a spear, but wielding kind of like a staff. It's very blunted at the end and has a little more of an ornamental spearhead to it. Raises the spear up and points it over the top as... Give me a moment here.
Don't let her hit you with it. You might get a staph infection.
Shut up.
Oh.
Terrible.
I'm
Somebody
about
kick
to
him.
have a negligent discharge in your direction.
Mine won't be a negligent discharge. It'll be straight up murder.
Oh no, my machine gun is running away. Look out.
I need you guys
Darkness.
to remember where you were.
Okay.
As the
Okay.
entire place descends into darkness, you cannot see, and it is almost difficult to hear. However, what you can hear is her voice almost kind of echoing through this darkness. A warrior should be able to fight without seeing his destination. He should be able to steel himself for the task immediately at hand. And he should be able to face any enemy without fear. Not knowing your enemy can often be debilitating. However, if the information provided to me is correct, some of you may already experienced this. As I would like everybody to once again roll me initiative.
Can't see.
Lord.
Oh, I hope I clicked my guy.
This isn't regular
ahead.
darkness. This is advanced
Here,
darkness.
I'm gonna refresh the page real quick. It's being really stuttery for some reason.
Go for it. You just advanced darkness.
Shit, I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Perception. Yeah,
Nice nat 20 though.
yeah, that's that 20. Damn.
I see into the darkness.
You just had to say fighting blindfolded, huh?
So Torin's actually pretty fucking on edge because he has dark vision. I actually think this is the first time he's had any sort of darkness spell used on him. He has never not seen in the dark before. He cannot see for like the first time ever. So,
You-
it's fun.
It's a sort of magical darkness where you can't really even see the inside of your eyelids.
On the initiative.
Exactly, yeah.
Come on,
On
eyes
initiative. Let's go.
Oh
Guys, tell me
Nice.
if my eyes are closed.
Shut up. That was a legitimate drunken moment. You know it. Are my eyes open? What? What are you talking about? Are my eyes open? I can't see anything. What are you talking about? I need to know. Am I blind or am I so drunk I don't know that my eyes are closed? Fucking help me out here.
Good lord.
I don't even think I was there for that. I'm pretty sure that was all Dan.
Yeah. He didn't help at all either. He was fucking like teasing me the whole time and I'm sitting there thinking, oh god,
I pretend
alcoholic
you're used to-
induced blindness.
Well,
Stay
Dan does
out.
his
Like
little
being hot
giddy
shit.
laugh.
Oh yeah, Hachu, you're listed as James S again.
Just so you know,
I
DM,
changed it.
I
Or
am a
did not
great
change it right there.
I am a great fucking player because I resisted the intrusive urge to shadow play the screen once you cast it and look at them.
Ah.
Would be referred to as a dick move.
That's what some would call not cash money.
The urge
That
is
is
there.
hard.
It's the intrusive urge is always there, but I do the right thing sometimes. Usually,
Sometimes, perhaps.
Sometimes, usually when I feel like it.
Let me add the
And that
enemies
would be
and
the
organize your guys' turns. Alright.
Is that a baton in your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
No, it's a gun.
It's a baton.
Hachu, you're at the top of the turn order. What do?
Well, I'm gonna get low to the ground and slither so I can feel where I was.
Give me a investigation.
Gotcha. Shit.
You kind of buckle down to the ground and start touching it, and you're trying to like scoot a little to the side, and you can't quite find where, like, the two directions you do try to go, you don't feel the edge. Yeah, excuse me, goddamn. You don't feel the edge of the raised platform, so you're not quite sure exactly where you're positioned on this, but you got a rough idea. But you are lower to the ground, so you're not standing the full 10 feet tall. You're more like 4 feet tall, kind of coiled. What would you like to do?
Kind of go in a little circle, I guess, so I can get a feel of where I am.
Alright. So, do you want to move? We'll use north, east, south, and west. Tell me which direction you would like to move and how many spaces.
I'll move. I'll move north like 3 spaces.
Alright. As you move north about 15 feet, you start to slither. You feel a body kind of pass you on the right. And then you feel the kind of ripples of the first 2 sets of stairs and then sand underneath you as you are now over the top of the edge of the raised platform.
I'll move up 2 more squares.
Alright, you continue forward as you're now in the sand. You're sliding across it and you come to a nice stop. You get the notion, it's a little bit behind you now, but it is pure darkness, but you are now fully in the sand.
I'm just gonna stay right there for the moment.
Alrighty. Peter!
Later.
Hey, Peter.
The first thing I'm going to do.
Don't use dispel
don't-
magic. That's cheating.
I don't have dispel magic, otherwise I
Oh.
totally would.
Yeah, that's a little
Just
bit.
imagine the Unorverse. Just no you.
I think that'd be more terrifying if the magic came down and you saw what was here.
I'm gonna. I have my doubts this is gonna work, but I feel I should do it anyway. I'm gonna cast light on my ring.
Alright. You raise your hand up and cantrip, try to cast it on your ring. And for a small moment, it's sort of a, dare I say, like a flashlight beam bright, but it only lasts about half a second as it dims down and it looks like the faintest, tiniest, like, match light maybe 20 feet away, and it's only a couple inches in front of your face. It's not illuminating anything.
That might still be useful. We'll see. I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix my bayonet to my rifle, and then I'm going to call out for Nikos, who I believe is to the south of me.
You call
I
out to him.
believe so.
What do you say?
Nikos!
Yeah?
Coming from the south of me.
Give me perception.
Time doesn't exist here. Neither do directions.
Direction is an illusion. Oh yeah, he's to your south.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's either 15 or 20 feet to my south, so I'm gonna walk 15 feet south, while calling out to him again, and kind of wave my hand in front of me.
You make it about 10 feet before your arm just kind of stiffly, like, palm checks Nikos in the side of the face.
All right,
That's you, Peter? Okay.
back to back.
Back to back.
And I think I'm going to hold a bayonet thrust on anything that comes up against me after giving it a shout.
Gotcha.
That isn't Nikos, obviously, because we're now standing back to back, right?
Gotcha. You guys go back to back. Alright. First guy.
So what do you think they have in here with us?
Well, I can't exactly tell based off the turn order picture, but it looks vaguely like a sea lion.
I don't want to say what it looks like to me.
I know what it
That
is.
Metagaming. It's metagaming if I say what it is to me.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Torn, give me a perception roll.
I was gonna ask to do that anyways.
Are you gonna send me the message DM or not?
I will. Ah, okay.
Is that a baton?
I'd like to imagine Torn is like stooped a little low. He's still holding the whip, and he's like focusing really hard on listening. But he's also looking up at the spot where the queen was, and totally knowing that she's like seeing his "my eyes aren't focused on anything" look. Like, damn it, I don't like this.
You might get a little startled as you feel a slight bump against your side, and a hand goes to your shoulder. A very affirming and kind of sort of firm, like grandfatherly-like hand goes to your shoulder and gives it the smallest shake. And Saber?
And what?
Hi, you dirty, you son of a bitch. It'll be okay, Thorin.
And hand gives your shoulder a little shake as you hear that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fine. I'm listening. I don't feel like moving is a good idea right now.
As we now get to your turn, Torn. It seems Peter is next to you, kind of assuring you. He seems to know his way around the darkness.
Not moving, holding action with the whip. We're listening for anything, any sort of senses. We're racking all of the senses. Just standing there.
Give me a perception check.
Already did.
Nah, this is his new perception check.
Ah, nice, great. A 10.
You try to listen in a bit
But I'm
closer, and
I
you
think.
hear... Oh yeah, you do have Bless.
Oh wait, no, but no. That's
Oh, only
an
for
ability,
attacks and
yeah.
saves.
Never mind, yeah.
Yep, never mind. You try to listen outwards, and there's a little bit of a kind of scooting. Sounds like the scooting of the bottom of a boot beside you. And other than that, you're not really hearing anything else that's particularly moving. You can hear the occasional breath or the slight rattle of like a bayonet, but not like an aggressive rattle, like just passive kind of gear noises when you don't fully silence all your gear. But no sounds, nothing seems to be sticking out.
Alright, we're holding action on the whip still. And he's just gonna,
You know, it's gonna be really funny if this is nothing and they're just watching us bumble around in the darkness. I'm not gonna give them the benefit of that doubt.
yeah, turn over.
Alright. As we get to the next one, if you would please, Peter.
Would what?
It'll be okay, Thorin.
You feel a second hand, very fatherly and sort of supportive, grab your other shoulder.
Yes, I know it's going to be.
Wilhelm, deck save.
Guys!
Still got blessed, Wilhelm.
Wilhelm. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. Oh no!
Don't forget about Bless.
Yeah,
You've got Bless.
Add Bless to it. We'll see if that does help. Oh, it's only a 10.
You know what? Screw it. I have one more. Add 5 to it.
Puts you at 15.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you're going to be one short.
No.
Wilhelm,
Well.
Torin, you are both taking... Oh, 1 bludgeoning damage. However, Wilhelm, you're going to fall to the side 5 feet, Torin, you are going to feel air and movement as you are lifted by both shoulders and then impact against a familiar kind of Prussian jacket at high speed as you collide against him.
God, that's 3 Peters. That's 3 of them. Three. Why are there 3?
Russian, not Russian.
Nikos, it is now your turn.
Yes.
Torn
I'm
is
going
overwhelmed.
to take a listen for anything.
Give me perception. You try to hone your senses in, looking over what you imagine is the top of your shield. For all you know, you're looking at the actual top back of your shield. You're not quite sure, but you're just kind of scanning. You get that familiar locked-in kind of pose. You hear a few scuffles. You hear a kind of claw scrape, very short and abrupt, and then Wilhelm and Torin's voices grunting as a dull kind of impacting body thud sounds out. And you can hear the mess tin and canteen on somebody's webbing gear clatter across the ground. However, you can't
Sounds
hear
like they found it.
really anything else.
Maybe they're just moving. Alright, I think I'm just gonna stay right here.
Gotcha.
And wait. Keep an ear out for anything.
Wilhelm, you've just been
Oh, my-
impacted by child-sized object, and it knocked you to your side and is kind of flailing over one of your legs.
So am I knocked prone right now?
You
or-
are prone.
Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my hand out and have my turret scuttle up my arm
All
and
right,
kind of rest on my shoulder.
it will do that.
I'll stand up using half my movement. Pull my saber and walk 15 feet to the due west.
15 feet due west. All right.
Air
get
horns
your,
down.
da-da-da.
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
Yeah, you get your saber out and you kind of do a walking kind of on guard pose about 15 feet to the west.
Okay, and then when I get 15 feet out, I'm going to cast guidance on sanctuary on myself.
Ooh, how does that work? Let's see. Ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets the warded creature with attack or a harmful spell must first make a wisdom save. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target. Ooh, okay. Gotcha. What else you got?
That's what I'm doing. I'm literally just walking 15 feet out, and I have my sword out with me, my thing on my shoulder, and I'm just sitting there and kind of listening as I have this ward kind of surrounding me.
Sounds good. Hachu, top of the turn order. Back to you.
Bless you.
Good syntax. Hachu.
It be you, Hachu. Hachu, I choose you.
What's that Hachu that you do?
Huh?
I don't know. I was trying to do like voodoo that you do something.
Yeah.
There it is. It is your turn, my friend.
Oh, my fault. Well, you know what? Since I can't see or really hear much, I'm just gonna turn invisible.
You just cast invisibility.
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
All right. You go invisible in the darkness and just.
Now nobody can see me.
Yeah, no one can see me. Not
If
even
I
me.
can, if
My
I
object-
can't see, nobody can see.
You're so invisible, you lose your own object permanence.
Oh lord. I just slither back a few feet back up the steps. Like I don't know,
You
3
actually start
squares
having-
in.
3 squares to
having
the
a-
south.
Hmm.
Alrighty.
Start having a existential crisis about
Oh,
am I
God.
actually existing?
It's the kind of darkness that will do that to you if you're stuck in it for a prolonged period. Peter, we get to you.
What are you doing?
You're back to back with Nikos, and you faintly hear scuffling and a impact go off somewhere semi to your side, like a dull thud.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen real closely.
Roll
First.
me perception. You definitely hear the short call out from Torin, and then the impact and canteen kind of rattling across the ground, and then a little bit of scooting. However, it's gone completely still and silent, other than the occasional breath from Nikos directly behind you.
All right. Remembering that when I cast light on my ring, it acted like a flashlight for a second. I'm gonna tell Nikos I'm gonna kind of turn around and point Nikos' shield and tell Nikos to point his shield where I'm pointing it and point it towards where I heard the noise. And then
Alright.
cast light on his shield and try. I'm gonna tell him, pay real close attention when I do this. You may see something. And I'm
Got
gonna
it.
cast light on his shield. I want to see if we see anything at all in the bright flashlightness that you said it gives off.
Alrighty.
The things that were in the darkness with us can see through it, so
Yeah, you cast light on it. You guys won't have to roll perception. I'll make this a little more interactive. What is the rough cardinal direction that you're having him point?
What was the direction of the scuffling relative to us?
Relatively to your northwest?
That's about where I think we're gonna point it.
Alright. Everybody, you will have a couple moments to soak this in.
Oh,
Right.
As the light fades away and the shield now goes back to a very dim, almost like a spent chem light sort of glow.
Since that was a pretty solid look at one right in front of us, I'm gonna raise
Yeah.
my rifle up over Nikos' shoulder, or around Nikos' shoulder, whichever one would work better, and I'm gonna take a really close shot on that one.
Roll me an attack at disadvantage. It's that fucking alien scene where he looks in the ceiling. Ugh. Ooh. You hear the shot go off, you get the little muzzle flash, nothing's illuminated by it in this darkness, and you hear what sounds like a cement and kind of brick impact pretty far off in the distance.
Cycle the rifle, and I'm gonna shout, "It's the wolf things again!" as loud as
Yep.
I can.
Yes, I know.
What else you got, Peter?
Apart from that, I'm going back to back with Nikos again.
Alrighty. As we get now to this guy. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Nikos, I require a constitution save from you.
a con save. All right.
Bonus.
Yep, I know. I'm typing it in now.
12.
Jeez, guys.
Not bad. But not quite enough. Peter, you
Damn.
feel the space behind you, like when you're leaning against a wall and then, or like a cart, and then that cart like scoots. You kind of lean back half an inch and catch yourself as you feel a slight rush of air, and you hear a scooting of Nikos' feet and his shield and the spear kind of scraping the ground for a moment. As Nikos, you are shunted and find your feet down in the sand with something kind of aggressively pushing you along the outside of your shield. As you come to a stop, you slide down 2 steps and you find your feet in sand, and you're unfamiliar with where you have been moved. Torn, it is your turn.
Lovely.
Granted, he saw one very close to him to the south. We're gonna probe in that direction. Will you allow me to use perception for that?
What type of probing are you doing?
Like, initially, kind of a combination of probably listening and then whipping.
Give me a perception. We'll see if you can get a rough idea.
19.
You listen in and you hear the slight breath from Peter as it catches. Then you hear the scooting of boots and claws and a bronze shield across the marble, and then that sort of like thump sound as it seems to go down a couple steps and lands in sand, and a scraping of a claw against a shield directly to your south. However, that's all you can really make out.
All right, we're going to step south about 20 feet, and we're going to make a whip attack with the intention of specifically catching a limb or getting some sort of a grasp on something.
You said you're walking south 20 feet?
About, yeah. 20, yeah. Just say 20.
Alright. I would like you to make me 3 dex saves.
Ah, okay. Opportunity attacks.
Not quite.
Dex saves have the +4 or 1d4.
Yeah. Do I need that D4?
You won't
that
need
one?
it for the first one.
Okay. Alright.
You will need it for that one. Ah,
17.
that passes.
And D4? A 14.
As you're going south with whip in hand, kind of feeling your way, you feel a rush of air to swipe by you, and then a second one swipe just above your head. It seems that they're trying to go for something a bit taller. However, the feeling you kind of get in the back of your neck is it knows I'm shorter. As you will feel your shoulder blades kind of impact the tile as a large clawed, kind of decrepit mitt will just grab you by the center of your chest and just pins you to the ground. You are currently immobile.
And do I get any sort of an action here?
You can
or is
still
that-
take your action.
Alright. We have a paw. We have a leg. Which means we can,
generally deduce direction of head/neck. We're gonna try to get that whip on it.
This will be at a slight... I will say this one will be at disadvantage because you are going kind of blindly. You know it's in front of you, but you are still trying to do something precision in the darkness, and also it's at a close range. So I'll say make a whip attack at disadvantage.
More like a fucking snap out to the side you bring around. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. The little side whip there. The pool towel whip.
When a problem comes along, you must whip it.
That is a 12.
That will miss. As you kind of
Plus
send it
attack?
outwards.
Wait, I
Oh,
get
yeah,
a
plus
D4
D4.
for that too.
Oh yeah,
Plus
you could add a
D4, yep.
D4 to it. Let's see if that makes it up.
13.
Not quite. As you send the whip out, you feel it connect with nothing, and it makes a loud crack in the air. And then you feel it kind of go a little limp and start to coil and land at your side again.
And that's that's the turn, I suppose.
Alrighty. Oh no, where'd the music go? Ah!
Ah!
Ah! There we go.
It's still there.
Now it's going. Alright, we now get
I think it just had
to...
like a break in it for a second.
Yeah. Get to lad number 2. Give me
Lad
one
2,
moment.
the Mad Lad.
Where are you? I'm just gonna right click on you here in chat.
Where are you? And I'm so sorry.
Are you gonna make me say something again?
Torin, get down.
Make me a con save, Torn.
I am down, dumbass.
Hey, not one.
Ooh.
That's 21.
You feel
21.
one paw and claws kind of pressed over your chest, trying to compact you as it kind of scrapes down your chest and grabs your lower left leg. And you feel two other mitts kind of grab both your hands as you tighten your core as hard as you can, but it feels like they are trying to pull you two directions now as you are actively strained and restrained, as two are attempting to try to pull you two different directions at the moment. However, you are able to tighten yourself and grunt and pull against it. Nikos, it is your turn.
Alright, so I got pushed, so supposedly one should be in front of me, maybe. I am going to bash with my shield, because I'm a bit worried about friendly fire incidences happening.
Alright. Which direction are you bashing?
Towards the east.
Gotcha. Make me your attack.
Alright.
Roll me damage.
Woo! Damage!
Torn, you hear a kind of brass and a loud snarl as the grip on your left leg completely lets go, and you feel yourself drug sharply for 2 more feet before the other 2 paws let go of your hands and free you. You are no longer restrained, however, you are still prone.
Did that hit anyone?
No, that was right. That was right. I think that was right.
Okay. Then with my second attack, I'm on spear.
Same spot?
Yeah.
Alright, make me an attack.
That hit?
will hit, yeah. Damn. Ooh, okay.
And then offhand.
That will also hit. Ooh. You shield bash like a friggin' Spartan should as you feel it impact against something with the audible confirmation from Torn. You thrust as hard as you can twice with your spear, catching something twice. You feel the meat and flesh kind of give way as the spear rips into it and rips back out. However, you get no audible sound from it.
Alright. That's me done.
Wilhelm!
Okay, so. Okay, I am unmuted. Sorry. So based on the little flash and going by my muscle memory, my turret's still on my shoulder. I'm going to go 2 steps, which is 2 blocks, so 10 feet to the south. Straight south.
10 steps straight south.
Yep.
Alright, 10 feet south you go.
Alright, and then using a little bit of Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to create a 3-4-5 triangle. So that would be at 60. Let's see if that's
The artillerist
opposite of that would be 30. So that would be 60. Yeah, I know. I'm like, you're giving me blind sight essentially by just doing angle declination, fun stuff.
Yep.
So.
I love it.
So let's see, if I'm doing a 3-4-5, that means... Oh, no, actually. 30, 60, 90 maybe? That would be a. Oh, okay. 30, 60, 90 would be different. But let's see. I'm going to shoot at. That would be at 60 degrees south of east. Yeah. Sorry. It'd be 30 degrees south of east. It'd be 60 degrees north of or east of south. So yeah. We're gonna shoot 30 degrees south of east. Inclination about, I wanna say, 7 feet. Actually, it's off my shoulder and I'm already 6 feet. So inclination 1 foot. Force ballistic to fire.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
I was tracking. Roll me attack.
Cool. Okay.
If I got that correct, and I think I did, that will hit. Give me damage. The artillerist is smart. God damn. You guys all hear the thundering sound of the baby howitzer as it lets off a loud just poof, and you feel the rush of a bit of heat and magic and a dull impact, and all of you are able to hear for a moment a very dull whimper and cry out, and it gets kind of replaced by a snarl after a few moments and then goes silent once again.
I get the direction on that sound relative to where I am.
Practically on top of you.
Oh, yes, right.
And that's my turn.
Alrighty, top of the turn order, Hachu. What are you doing?
I'm here for the top of the turn order. I'm here for it. Yeah. I was looking at it. All right.
What do we got? What you up to?
Probably like slowly going in circles because I don't want to get hit by some random thing because I'm starting to hear like muffled something going on around me.
Yep. I like how we got different tactics. Go invisible, try not to get ripped apart, fix bayonets, shield bash till fleshy, and advanced trigonometry.
Use your strengths. Unfortunately, my actual strength in real life is advanced trigonometry.
Use your strengths.
Got the wrong
I
MOS,
have
buddy.
the mathematism. Fire the cannon!
I mean, if I want to be really chaotic, I just put a wall of fire around me, but that seems a little rude, so...
I mean, it's a tactic. Almonds.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll just stay hidden for now. I'm not going to try to
Alrighty.
figure things out, so I saw how well that went.
Gotcha. Peter!
I'm gonna take a bullet off my bandolier. I'm gonna cast, or not quite. I'm gonna kind of pre-prep casting light on it. I'm gonna hold up my rifle in the direction I'm gonna cast, which is gonna be due west.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna
Ah, he
throw
said
it.
it again. He said it
I'm gonna
again.
throw the bullet 15 feet away from me and see what I can see in the flash and try and snapshot whatever it is, whatever I can see that's not us.
Alright. You toss it, and everybody, you will have a couple moments of visual as, quite literally, half a second, you hear the almost kind of stalker-esque I throw bullet casing, I throw bolt or nut into anomaly. You hear the clatter of a bullet hit the ground.
I'm gonna
And then-
snapshot that guy right fucking in front of me.
Gotcha. Make me an attack.
Can we take whatever the left one is?
Yeah, we'll take the left one. That will miss, unfortunately, as you raise up your rifle really quick at the mass kind of shadowy, decrepit wolf in front of you and fire a shot. However, you hear sand and a sort of kind of ricochet sound in the distance.
I am going to fucking thrust at it with the bayonet since it seemed to be right there.
Gotcha. Make me a bayonet attack. This one does not have to be at disadvantage. That hits. Give me damage.
Nice.
I know it probably doesn't matter, but I do double damage to undead.
It's not undead, as unfortunate as a revelation as that may be.
I figured, but I can dream.
I know. Yeah, you fire your shot, and when you realize it missed, you just kind of tuck your rifle and do a nice bayonet thrust, and you hear a little bit of flesh tearing as your triangular, highly illegal Soviet bayonet stabs
Not
in and rips
triangular. I have a
out.
blade bayonet. I have a blade
Oh
bayonet.
wait, yeah, you got the blade one.
Remember,
okay.
I have the 1907
Correct,
pattern.
yeah.
Whatever.
All right, yeah, you give a nice little stab and rip it
1901. I have
back
a
out.
1901 pattern bayonet.
It doesn't seem to like that. What else you got?
You know what? Since I made a melee attack on it, I am going to disengage and move 15 feet to the south, and I can't provoke opportunity attacks from it because of mobile, and I just hit it.
Hell yeah. Alright, you just kind of and then withdraw, and you're gonna kind of sidestep and quickly make your way south. You do feel yourself doing that sort of like, oops, I missed the last step on the staircase kind of stumble, but you're still on your feet, and you feel sand underneath you.
Okay. That's it. That's going to be my turn.
Alright. As we now get to, let me make sure I got the right one tracked. This one. Alright. Torin, I'm going to message you.
Okay.
Getting a long message.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's... He's gone. Who will protect us now?
You hear this over the top of your shoulder, Peter, and you can kind of feel the breath off it. I would like all 5 of you to make me a Constitution save.
Oh, wait, me included? Oh, yeah.
Yep. Nikos with a 11, Peter with a 16, Torn with a 13, Wilhelm with a 17, a 19. And Hachu, give me that con save with that nice D4, thanks to Father Dearest.
He doth abide.
He doth abide.
Father Daddy.
Father Daddy. Cossack Daddy, Bootstrap Baddie.
No.
Dude, that's actually pretty fucking fire.
There he is. Con save, if you would, please, with a D4.
Con save with a D4. Okay.
Is that an IFAC in your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
It's an IFAC, good lord.
1, 2, 3, 4. How about that? Probably a bad thing.
I think my
Then-
D4s
It's
are
actually
broken.
my bayonet scabbard. It got into a really weird position when I pulled it out.
A D4, and then give me that con save. Just to
Meow.
make sure, see if anybody finds themselves in a oof.
Yes.
Oh,
All
you.
the oof.
You know, this makes total sense because you absolutely really hate the cold. The kind of shock that you guys feel, you're in the Georgian mountains. It's been cold, but you got your cold weather gear, but it's still you're in the cold. You've gotten used to a very Mediterranean quasi warmth in this little area that you've been in with the Amazons for a moment. However, the cold air and the chill hits you in a way that it's not that kind of wind chill that cuts through cold weather gear or a jacket. It's not that kind of wind chill that you can block. It's a kind of magical bone chill. And all of you feel yourself cold, frigid. You feel yourselves kind of tensing up as there's pine trees. Very thin, gray, kind of wilted, almost kind of previously burnt looking pine trees for miles in all directions. There's no pattern to them. There's no real layout. You are in the middle of what seems like a very long running just
Infomercial.
infomercial. Very long running dim gray forest. There's no real leaves or pine needles. Everything's wilted. There is a sort of Arma-like fog about 20 meters out that pretty much obscures vision. It's not very nice. There's no wind. There's no source of light. It seems like the only real light is almost like an ambient moonlight, as if it was stuck behind a cloud. And you can very vaguely see each other, the five of you, kind of standing. You find yourselves semi-shoulder to shoulder in whatever position or fighting stance you were in as you're able to look to each other. And standing next to Peter is what looks like a somewhat older gentleman, large, kind of grayish beard, sort of large, black, tall, fuzzy hat atop his head, heavy, very worn winter coat with a lot of the wool kind of around the collar and at the edge of the sleeves. And he is holding up what seems like a somewhat damaged saber close to the front of your throat, Peter. Not aggressively, but in a defensive stance as he kind of looks you over and then looks over towards the rest of you. And who are you?
Crazy.
Hello, I am Wilhelm Schwartz.
Nikos Zagros?
This is real, isn't it?
I wish it wasn't.
Mate.
What are you doing
That's
here?
The dogs.
He kind of squints a bit, looks back to you, Peter, lowers his sword. The last one of you abandoned us but a year ago. What are you doing here now?
We came to rescue the Amazons on behalf of the British government.
I take it we're just going straight to forgetting about OPSEC.
Who are you?
I'm Wilhelm Schwartz.
I know who you are.
Oh, okay.
He kind of lowers the saber a little bit more. The British expeditionary mission abandoned us after the revolution. What do you mean you're here on behalf of the British? What has happened? Who won the revolution?
When was the last time you spoke to anyone else?
Kind of blinks a couple times, looks down for a moment, starts to sheath the saber, looks back over. It maybe 11, 12 years now.
I kind of raise an eyebrow at that a little bit.
You're a Cossack, no?
Ah,
One of His Majesty's Cossacks. One of the 100.
can't remember. Am I one of the 100?
You
You're
are indeed.
specifically referring to? Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of step away and face him. Not like aggressively, but so I'm not, he's not behind me anymore, and I'm.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Kind of looks to you and starts to lower his shoulders a little bit. I hope you are not trapped here as well, then. Come. We should get some warmth by a fire.
Where is here?
It is nowhere. It is, we believe, purgatory. As he kind of turns and motions for all of you to follow, and he walks about 20 feet, and you realize the sort of darkness and fog in this area defies how things should work. Because as you follow him, once you get about 15 feet away from where you were standing, there is now a very faint light, very murky and kind of mixed, coming from this little bitty ground fire that has sort of a lot of stones around it to obscure it so it can't be seen from a distance. And it's giving off very, very little warmth, but it's a little bit of some sort of warmth. As he sits down on a log next to it, kind of puts his hands over it for a moment, rubs them together, and looks back over towards all of you. Please, gets warm. It is one of the few comforts you will have here.
Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna do the bullet trick again. The light and see what happens.
As you go to cast light on it and you flick the bullet, let me make a dex save here. That's an 18. He quickly just lurches up from his log, grabs the bullet and encases it in his hand so that the light isn't coming out, and just pummels his fist with the bullet in his palm down into the snow and starts covering it over. Are you an idiot?
I have a fire. Are you trying to conceal yourself or not?
Yes. I was hoping that would be evident by the lack of light. Those wolves are everywhere. And other...
Hang on. Is the fire giving off light or not?
A very faint ambient. Like, it's a very small, like... It's sort of kind of like the darkness that you're in now, or at least were in, is... It almost like artificially stops after about 3 to 4 feet. The little bit of it that is getting out. Everything else is just a dull, kind of gray, faded. It's like there's almost a, dare I say, like a invisible wall that kind of stops the light after a little bit.
They might know we're here anyway.
Before you make any more rash decisions, I guess I should explain.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
I hope that you're not stuck here with us as well.
Well, given the fact that I don't think I've died, no.
None of us have died. It's not that sort of purgatory.
We found your grave.
Depends on whether or not. You said another one of us left a year ago.
Yeah, perhaps I should start by introducing myself. I am Junior Sergeant Stanislav Keprinovich, Imperial Guard, and our group, consisting of a handful of the Don Cossacks and a small element of His Majesty's escort, had managed to find some of the royal family, Tatiana and Anastasia in particular.
Anastasia's alive? I give her a ha and a hoo-ah
I'm
and
gonna
a
kill
hiya
you.
and I kick her, sir.
We went into hiding in the underdwellings of Romanov on Murman. I think they called it Murmansk now. And we decided the best place to get them to safety was to Green Ukraine in Vladivostok. We decided to take a route that would take us to Harbin. However, somewhere along the way, we got lost. We entered this forest, and it never ended. It simply kept going and going. And after a few weeks, we decided to turn around because none of our maps showed a forest this size. But after 3 more weeks of traveling, the forest just kept going. No break, no openings, no felled trees, no snowfall, no sun. And then, after a couple years, they began to arrive, seeming to pick up our scent. These large, shadowy wolves. And little by little, our unit was picked off. They seemed smart. They seemed to know how to use our emotions against us. They'd listen to our conversations for months. Sometimes would impersonate us. Sometimes even infiltrate, and we weren't able to tell them apart. We realized the only way was to keep everybody vocal, animated, artificially happy, as it would be one of the only uncanny ways to tell if someone was real or not. Eventually, after enough suicide and deaths and hunting packs came after us, some went their own way and we have not seen them. Some remained in one place to try to bunker in with fortifications that they had built themselves. And the remainder of us decided to keep moving east. We've been moving 11 years.
Jesus Christ.
Our last Cossack of His Majesty's Guard, Sergeant Yemenov, who I believe may be the one you're speaking of, took a few rations and went off on his way in hopes to, in his words, make a deal with one of the wolves to hopefully get word out of our situation.
Well, he made it out.
He did.
What
Did
was the
he
deal?
tell others about us?
No, he got lost in the mountains and died.
Kind of. He was practically hallucinating by the time someone found him and he didn't make it. Made it to Georgia.
That far south. The last area we were in, I believe we were approaching Tomsk. Yes, we were approaching Tomsk. If he was able to leave this and make it that far, perhaps there is a chance then. Why are you here then? How did you get here?
God.
We were fighting some of those wolves in an arena for the Amazons.
Would implies they have inherent control over their. I'm very confused by this now.
I'm not sure this is what they intended to happen to us.
No, but how can they control them? Have they captured them? The wolves.
They seem intelligent. They seem smart. They seem to feed off of not only flesh but our fear. They seem to exist for our torment. Our cleric, before he passed, began to assume that perhaps this was a punishment from God, a sort of purgatory with these sort of Slavic demons, these wolves that exist only to prolong our suffering.
I feel he was wrong.
I hope.
Can I kind of passively try and figure out if we're in another plane or if we're still...
If you
Or
have
like,
a spell that perhaps can determine that, or if you have a way to cast something that you think might be able to make an argument to determine that.
I have one, but it's a really odd way to use it.
Yeah, let it rip. Explain how you want to use it.
I'm trying to see if I have another way because I don't want to use this unless it's my only way.
What you got?
But I'm just going to come out and ask him if he thinks or anyone knows whether or not this is the same plane as Earth.
Kind of looks to you, blinks a couple times, kind of in thought. Well, we've had access to some of our magic. However, our last person who knew any magic died almost a year ago.
How many of you are left?
23.
And why are you alone?
I am the outpost.
Torn's gonna side-eye Peter a little and be like,
Is Anastasia one of them?
Yes, she regrettably is, and we have no way to get out of here.
wide as fuck eyes at Peter.
Perhaps it would be best, and especially for you, if you were to see them. Just do not intrude. Do not make yourself known. Let me approach first. And he kind of gets up, kicks one of the rocks over as it puts out the fire and starts to smoke a little bit. and will kind of lead you guys about 40 yards in what seems like a nowhere direction until you start to hear very faintly in the distance, slowly growing as you walk over.
Hang on. Before we go, I'm gonna ask. I guess everyone else, if they have any ideas to determine it. I don't want to use my spells to do it unless we have no other way.
I think that could tell us.
Anything in soap? The beginning of your sentence.
I don't think I have anything that could tell us.
Not true.
The conifer is there forever.
Wilhelm?
I want to try one thing.
You want to share with the party what you think it is?
So, I have that spell that when I cast it, it can like highlight creatures, especially if like they're invisible or something like that. It would not determine whether we're in a different plane of existence, but it could potentially ascertain whether this is real, if that makes sense.
I like that. I'd like to know if this is real.
I can assure you that this is quite real.
Real in the metaphysical sense, and not in the. It's hard to explain, but we have no logical reason for being here. This
You said you were fighting wolves?
Yes.
These wolves freely come and go, we believe. Perhaps you
Yes,
found
and-
yourselves put here with us by them.
They also have powerful manipulation of the mind. Please excuse me for being a skeptic.
You caught on much quicker than we had then.
If I may, I will just try to cast something. It's if I can literally cast on just us if you want. It will do a 20-foot cube of space that will essentially just light up the area very briefly in light.
We just had this conversation.
We must maintain light discipline. We cannot risk that. We have very little ammo left. Come,
Well-
you may decide this in a moment. And he kind of motions as you guys will be able to see after stepping a little bit further, a very dim light once again, but a little bit wider, very low, about inch tall fire with rocks on all sides of it, kind of obscuring the light from any distance. And sitting around it is a huddle of around 23 who got blankets over them, hoods, a lot of their clothing very piecemeal and sewn together. And sitting there among them is a younger female who seems to be silently singing and kind of swaying. Beside her is looks like a somewhat older gentleman with a big mustache, kind of idly strumming on a little lute guitar. And all of them are just kind of listening to this tune, kind of just looking downwards, almost like they're kind of resting or sleeping. They don't even really seem to notice you in particular approaching. And he kind of doesn't directly enter the circle. He seems to be standing a little bit back from it.
If you don't mind, as they're walking, Torin is going to bring out his bayonet and he's going to make a small cut on the palm of his hand, or try.
Alright. Yeah, you're able to take your bayonet and you kind of give a quick little slide, make a nice little 3-inch cut across your palm, and it
3-inch, Jesus. No,
a
no,
vague,
like
a vague small one.
no, like a decent enough to bleed, like 1/4-inch mark.
Okay.
We're not
Alright,
Gmo
alright.
here.
No,
Alright,
you will
nice
be
little,
cut 3 inches and you
nice
won't
little
like it.
1/4-inch one. Hopefully not along where your hand specifically folds. You make a little cut, and it hurts. And after a moment, drop or two of blood starts to run down your wrist.
Torn starts looking up. He looks at all of us in the eyes and goes, I got your picture. I'm coming with you. Dear
Shut up.
Maria, count me in.
It feels pretty real. If I must admit.
We were just traveling, trying to get them to safety. And the last years have just been a relentless pursuit.
Our entrance to this place is incredibly dynamically different. You seem to have stumbled into it. We were in combat, and now we are here. There's no stumbling.
I don't believe we simply stumbled in.
Do you not remember?
There has been many groups that fled to Green Ukraine that arrived, perhaps with some fighting the Soviets, but most all of them made it. None of them simply disappeared as we did. And well, it's not begrudgingly, but I can't rule out that our particular imprisonment is because of them. And he kind of motions to a somewhat younger looking woman, around 21-ish, and another one looking around 17 or 18. Beside each other, the 17 to 18-year-old is the one quietly singing.
Peter, that perhaps there's a reason they tried to drag you away. You specifically.
You said you fought the wolves before. They tried to target you.
Well, I was told. I was not conscious for it.
They attempted to drag him away. They almost succeeded.
That would make
Killed
sense. After all, they were actively fighting our Cossacks while they were among us for a few years. If I didn't know better, it's almost as if they were targeting the sisters or the Cossacks. They didn't start attacking us unless they could use our shadow, our personhood, to get closer to one of the Cossacks and catch them off guard. We even had a few instances where we unfortunately killed each other. They're deceptive. Tell me
Sounds
what's...
like a curse.
It's... Perhaps.
This seems targeted. This seems intentional. I don't know.
While we have been here, it's been what we believe to be 11 years, yet none of us have actually seen the effects of our aging. If you only just arrived, what year is it?
1936.
You see his whole demeanor kind of slink a little bit and kind of shrink into himself. And it has been 11 years.
I'm impressed you kept count with no son. and verily no construct of time.
Do I recognize Anastasia and the other sister?
Roll me perception with advantage. To you, Torn, he raises up his wrist and pulls his sleeve back to expose not one, but 4 watches. 3 of them you can assume were from previous owners. All of them set to the same time.
Yep.
And you can see what looks like a slip of paper underneath 2 of the watches that has just endless amounts of tick marks drawn on it.
And that is impressively diligent.
We may be a little off, but we realized this was needed after about 6 months.
Your winding is yeah, I'm up to date on it.
DM, what is the current in-game date? The day.
Maybe second quarter. It'd be like June 1st-ish, somewhere in that range.
Torn's gonna like look at him and be like,
Reset your calendar. It's June 13th, 1936.
He kind of
Afternoon.
blinks once and kind of smiles just a little bit as he pulls the slip
was
out
first.
and starts noting on it. No, we moved to second quarter.
I thought you said it was June 1st.
first,
Yeah, close
First,
enough.
whatever.
We're not going exact dates. It's
No.
somewhere within second quarter.
it's Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
June is actually sorry, Torn is actually just trying to mess with them. He's saying June 13th, so the clock will be off. Or he actually has calculated the fact that with the amount of windings, by the time somebody finds them again, it'll probably be June 13th.
Maybe.
It's 2024.
oh, no. As he starts to write that a little bit on a quick note and starts to fold it back, Peter, you look over and you're expecting to see someone older, but you only needed a 10 to recognize this because you've seen him a couple times at least. You recognize what your main
Probably hundreds, let's be honest.
charter was. Like, this was your job. Tatiana's still 21 and Anastasia still looks 17.
DM, with my history, is that Anastasia from the pictures?
Like the royal family? Let's see, 15? Yeah. That is 2 of the daughters of the royal family who should have been historically dead in, if I'm not mistaken, 1917?
Yeah.
Oh, 1919.
1919.
They were killed during a white counteroffensive, which threatened to take Katerinburg.
Yep.
And yeah, remember part of the lore is that Peter was there in the counteroffensive. That did end up taking Katerinburg, but only too late. By like a day. Counteroffensive got as far as Stalingrad.
Yeah.
What would eventually become Stalingrad. At the time it was Zardizin.
But, yeah.
Now I
you're
know why
able
I was
to-
named that.
You're able
Torn is
to-
just repeatedly side-eyeing between Anastasia and Peter, like the like the fucking, like he's watching for reactions.
It's your general demeanor, Peter.
I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna look at him. How old does he look?
Early 60s. Definitely a bit older.
Roughly old to be a junior sergeant. Have you aged and them not?
I received a promotion when I was called into duty during the Civil War. However, as situations would have it, you don't exactly retain rank or acquire more promotions when there is no officers to give them.
What the fuck was that noise?
The crunch of a microphone.
That was not a fun noise.
Well, oh, maybe it was my jingle jangles.
Well, I suppose you are staying, or
No
what is
offense,
your-
but I certainly hope not.
I would hope not as well. It would be nice for someone outside to know.
We know. Peter, you know.
I know. I want to see something first.
Let's leave the camp for a moment then, before, in case it should draw any attention. And he'll kind of idly walk out about 20 feet away from the camp. It's now dull and gray and cold again. That little bit of slight orange light is now completely gone. As it is now silent and still, and he kind of looks to you. So, what is this magic that you have planned to use?
If we are in a different plane from our own, then I have a spell that can send you back,
Oh,
either temporarily or permanently. I do not know where you will end up, given that the other Cossack ended up in Georgia. I do not know if this will work. If it does not work, you would find yourself in a, I believe it is just a blank white plane.
Bandit, I think I know what you're. Do you think that's a good idea?
I can cast it for less than 60 seconds. And
We
tell us the answer.
Well, you know.
I would rather not risk that. At least not to that extent. Not with the openness that your spell offers.
Well, if I'm thinking correctly, doesn't Hachu have a similar spell to that one?
No.
To be, are we talking about banishment?
It returns any entity to its home plane, or if it's in its home plane, it returns them to, or sends them to a white void.
And then they'll be back in I believe a minute.
No.
Unless I hold the casting for a minute, in which case they stay banished until they find another way back.
No, from what I remember is if they go back to their home plane, they stay banished after a minute. If they are not if they are already in their home plane, then after a minute they would poof back to this plane.
I'm reading the spell. If you hold it for over a minute, it doesn't matter. They're banished forever.
Okay, I thought that was different.
I assume unless they find another way back.
I would rather not risk being locked in a nether hell like this with no way to escape. Trading one for another does not seem like a good gamble.
I turn to the rest of the party and would any of you like to be the guinea pig?
I'll go. I'll do it. Don't use the word guinea pig, though.
Guinea kobold.
Just not take the guinea out. You know, just.
I think he actually grew up around Irish, not Italians.
Nikos and Wilhelm, I would like the two of you to make me dex saves.
Next.
Wilhelm, you feel something large and very dark and snarling just dogpile you and roll with you twice in the snow as you bang across some of the roots and is trying to actively bite you. Nikos, your shield is impacted, shoulder checked by something that scoots you 5 feet to the side before teeth are biting down on the top edge of your shield and a claw is trying to go for your face. Simultaneously, you hear a little bit of yelling, a couple gunshots, before you see the old man raise his rifle and fire at something that is approaching behind you, Peter. And he gives kind of a look to you before...
Hey, Torrin's gonna throw something.
I'm gonna throw him my bandolier with the.
Unfortunately,
7.62
you guys will
No,
not be
no.
able to.
I fucking don't make me roll something to drop something. This is important.
What would you like to drop?
Fucking.
Damn it. Leroy's hat.
Oh,
He's gonna throw the hat.
all right. You toss down Leroy's hat off your head as you guys find yourselves back in a permanent darkness. And Peter, you feel a hot breath on your face. All of you kind of feel a hot breath on your face. As, allow me to fix this now.
Oh, they have at least one more bullet.
Combat is to resume. However, you guys see one of the wolves is looking directly at Peter and is just death glare snarling at him and seems to have kind of a black-ish sort of ichor kind of dripping from its jaw, and it seems to be kind of breathing this onto Peter's face as it leans back some, gives kind of a knowing look, and will make an attack against you, Peter. With a nat 1, it's gonna fucking miss hard and fall forward on itself.
Oh yeah.
Combat resumes. Torrin,
Nice.
you are up, and you guys now have full visual capacity yet again.
We're pouncing on that thing. We're going on its back.
Make me a roll against on strength.
On its back?
From me? Or him?
On the wolf. He's gonna be rolling with he's gonna be rolling with disadvantage because he's not seeing you come and he's focused on Peter, and he's also technically prone at the moment. So yeah, roll against strength. Oof. Oh, you beat him by 1.
Oh, holy shit. Wow. With a 6, that's something else. Okay.
You rolled a 2
Oh.
plus 3.
Alright. Hands around the shoulder, not technically shoulders since they don't kind of have them, but shoulder / breast area, and bite in the back of the neck.
Make me a bite attack.
Hear about that? Callie just got here.
Nice. Wait, plus a d4.
Yep, add that d4 to it. 9,
11.
10, 11. Unfortunately, that doesn't hit. However, you are currently on his back. Your hands are kind of dug into what would be the sort of shoulders and neck.
We're gonna try again. I do have a second attack.
All right, send it.
Ah ha 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 ha
Let's
ha.
add that d4. Let's see if it does it.
15.
You're 1 short as you try to land another bite on him, and he's struggling and kind of flailing side to side. You can't quite get your teeth down into him.
Alright, we're holding on for dear life. We are.
fucking straddling this.
Alrighty. Now get to the second wolf, who is going to turn, pivot in place, look between you, realize that the magic is gone, and the darkness is gone, and it sees all the hoplites starting to stand up. Some of them grabbing their shields, some of them starting to ready their spears. The queen looking a little
Oh
bit
my god.
surprised.
Oh my god.
Oh. Oh, this wasn't part of the trial. Oh dear.
It's going to take a couple back steps, and it is going to kind of bring its claw over its chest, and it digs its fingers in, and in a kind of sickly, sort of fleshy way, as it pulls its rib cage forward and out, it kind of folds into itself and sort of rippingly origamis into a sort of lack of space, like a bunch of flesh getting pulled through like an inch wide opening, and will use its action to retreat. Nikos, it is your turn.
No, you don't.
All
No, you
right.
don't. Shut up, no.
No, yeah, no, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
Straight out of Compton. Crazy motherfucking name. Ice Cube.
22 hits, I assume.
22 does indeed hit. God, for died.
Is it? So you said it's prone, right? Is this? are
It
you
is
calling
prone,
attack-
so that would be at advantage.
Oh, okay then.
Nicholas,
So-
keep it alive.
We'll say 27 for
Okay.
that first attack, then make the next one with advantage.
All right. Well, how's it looking? Because I do want to keep this thing alive, so it doesn't.
It is
Bleed.
absolutely shit rocked right now.
All right. I'm gonna look up to the Amazons. Do you have some magic to restrain this?
She's looking a little bit panicked, grabbing her spear, and kind of starts calling out and yelling to others. Restrain it, we'll be down shortly.
Talk to me, Wolf. How does it feel to be afraid?
All right.
I know
I'm
you-
going to try.
Torn?
Torin,
Sorry, that's the line of the night.
Torin,
Yes.
roll me,
Yeah.
let's roll against intimidation.
God.
I feel like you should get advantage for that one. Hey,
Yeah,
no,
honestly.
an entity of fear. How do you like to be
At
afraid?
advantage.
That is some boss level shit right there.
17.
Scene from Star Trek Voyager.
Hey fear demon. How's it feel to be afraid?
The 17 beats its 12 as you see one of its ears kind of fold a little bit. However, it does this motion where, you ever see where someone like leans backwards to look at something behind them, like they lean their head all the way back? Its head does this kind of cracking motion as you can feel its neck almost kind of disconnect where it shouldn't bend, and looks all the way
Disconnect.
back at you, like upside down, its snout just in front of your face.
I just saved your life. I just saved your life.
It gives a little bit of a small grin. And I would like all of you guys to make me a dex save. At least the three of you that are immediately on it.
What is this deck save for?
Left number.
Left number 13, a 4, a 6, and dex save, Torn. It is
What is
for
this dex?
movement. It is to negate damage.
It's not
Nah,
its
he's- nah.
turn. It's still my turn. I didn't end my turn.
Just to be clear, Torn is not letting go.
I'm aware.
Okay.
It's still my
Yep,
turn.
we'll be continuing your turn. You did a little
It doesn't get to
intimidation.
run.
You'll still get to complete your turn. This is to see what happens once your turn completes.
Fair.
Damn, okay. Yep. It's just kind of...
24 pass.
Yes. It's just
Torn-
kind of
Torn's literally gonna
smiling
ride
at
like
you.
a
Its
freaking
neck
bull rider.
kind of broken as it's looking backwards over its head at you, almost point blank. Nikos, what else you got, bud?
Yes.
Don't kill it.
I have an offhand attack, which I'm going to do non-lethally.
Okay.
Well, smack it with just the, like the blunt of the spear rather than
Oh.
stabbing it.
I thought I was gonna be like, you're gonna smack it. I'm like, open palm or close or
So,
backhand or front.
Bludgeoning damage?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
And since, it's prone, right? I have advantage.
You do.
Okay, you can't knock out the.
That hits. He's trying to go for incapacitation.
Yeah. It should be able to fall asleep, right?
You guys
It'll
are
be
gonna
fine.
love seeing the recording.
Oh, no.
As you kind of twirl your spear in hand, and you give it a good kind of blunt impact with the kind of copper rounded end of the spear. You just kind of bludgeon it. It lets out a yelp, and its head kind of arches upwards. It gives a long look at you, Peter, violently snaps its head back again, and looks back to you, Torn. Levencroft.
Yeah, that's my name. You can remember it.
Anything else this turn, Nikos?
Well, seeing as it's still conscious, yes.
I'd like you to roll me
I'm going to-
perception
Oh,
on that, actually.
okay. Up.
Oops. Advantage is turned down.
Yep.
Try rolling
number?
again.
Yep. Eh.
Hey, there you go. Nice in the middle. You look at him again. Well, alive as in he's not moving. His eyes are open. He's kind of sickly smiling. But after a couple moments in this very awkward dead position, just kind of wide-eyed death glaring with Torn, you start to see some of the mouth ichor kind of run out of the top of the jaw onto its back. A little bit starts to run out its nose. Its jaw starts to slacken
Oh,
just
no,
a little
no.
bit.
Oh. No.
No.
Can I take a
I don't
reaction
feel
to
good,
that?
Mr. Staff.
What would you like to react?
I'd like to give it 1 HP from lay on hands.
You're
No,
gonna
I was just trying to make it pass out. I was
You're
trying to
gonna-
kill it.
touch your hand to it, and you're gonna heal it for 1 point?
Just 1 point.
I don't feel good, Mr. Stark.
Alright. Yeah, minus 1 point
If
from your
anyone's gonna
pool. As you
Kill it anyway, it's gonna be me.
as you put your hand to it to try to heal it, and oh man, this won't really require a dex save, but let me switch the music over here to something a little more.
It explodes after all.
That would be funny. You put your hand to it, and its kind of heavy, limp body makes a couple cracks. The shoulder kind of popping back forward again. It's almost laying out kind of like dogs do when they like fully stretch out their hind legs and lay down.
God, it's disgusting.
Its shoulder kind of pops a bit. Its torso starts to contort a little bit underneath you. Its head is almost kind of superficially pulled forward again and snaps back into place. Its neck starting to mend. As the body starts to writhe a little, the fur starts to kind of regrow from this dark, bristly, kind of oil-covered texture to more of a brownish tan. It starts to reduce just a bit in size to actual flesh and tone and fur. You start to see some patterns regain. However, unfortunately, now currently laying underneath you, Torn, and currently at the brunt of your spear and with your hand on its still dead shoulder, seems to be a relatively normal gnoll.
Yeah.
The large bipedal hyenas.
Regular Noel.
Is it dead?
It is dead. However, you have seemed to heal it back to its original status.
Just trying to make it pass out. I wasn't trying to kill it.
I think it was already dead. At least in some way.
It's terrible. But Peter, I think
Damn
I
it.
might have just figured something out.
I do too, but I'm not quite sure what.
I think
What
Yeah,
Wilhelm
that
is
way
over
we
there.
can-
He goes. "You
Oren,
know,
what
it's-
do you know about
it-
gnolls? Where did this one come from?
What do I know about Knowles, DM?
Remember, he already passed 2 different checks on gnolls from 2 different sessions. And he passed them very heavily.
Good point. Shit. Let's see. Trying to think what I've already told you. I could just give, honestly, yeah, I could give the general rehashing. Rather large communities. You recall that they are in somewhat more secluded areas. They're seen around parts of Eastern Europe. They're seen in parts of Northern Asia. The overwhelming majority of them are in parts of Central and Northern Africa and a good bit of the Middle East. There is a derivative of them in Central South America, but that's about all. Other than that, they are essentially bipedal hyenas. They are what almost occurs as this is just kind of for everybody, almost a kind of natural evolution. Once a hyena has lived long enough, it starts to gain more sentience and intelligence, and there's no real discriminating or real process as to which hyena become gnolls and which ones just remain hyena. It's almost like a random pick and choose. They just kind of become that. Once they are that, they can reproduce and produce more of those.
Oh yeah.
They're blessed by Set.
There is absolutely no reason for this creature to be in this region. Not a single one.
He's going to climb off of it awkwardly. Also,
Well, could it be a spell? A curse?
So I'm thinking,
hey DM, where is Leroy's hat?
Not with you.
Torin's going to look up at the lack of a hat brim and then look at Peter, and his eyes are going to go really wide. And he's just going to kind of gape at Peter.
I didn't see you do that, so I have no idea what you're gaping about.
Give me perception, Peter.
I think the missing cowboy hat should be pretty obvious.
I'm
You
too
don't,
focused on the
with
ball.
everything going on, you don't realize
That's
that
fair.
he's no longer wearing.
I've still got
that-
my bayonet to its throat.
Yeah.
Torin is going to continue just fucking gape ogling at you like, oh. It's awkward.
Wilhelm watching like them just have this awkward like stance off. I'm just like, I turn towards the leader of the Amazons, and I say, well, do we need to continue with the speech or can we call that good?
She kind of looks to you, a little bit of exasperated kind of chuckle for a moment. I do believe we can pass on that. Give me one moment. As, while you guys were talking and wrestling with him, a good majority of the surrounding hoplites have hopped away or gone down some of the rows to head back out into town, or just take up positions just in case.
I'm gonna cut the Knoll's stomach open, and I want to see what's inside.
Ooh.
I want Torin to also see what's inside.
I'm gonna take a look too, just
Roll me nature.
curious what you're doing.
I
Damn.
sometimes do like dissection. As of right now, no.
what? No, you're doing it. You're doing it wrong. Look, just
You're doing it wrong.
move.
Just hand you the knife. Honestly, my hands are shaking.
You start trying to cut it, you're a little shaky as Torn runs over and helps you and fully
Oh, I thought the nature was to
roll
see
this
what came
over
out.
and- Nah, that was to do the dissection. Starts gutting.
Ignore my nature roll then.
Gotcha. Yeah, he comes over, helps you
Poking
start
it with
cutting
his
it, pulls it open, and you kind of start bisecting, removing some of it, and it's kind of visceral. It stinks. It's not great. As you start to kind of open up the stomach and look, and I would like an investigation from Torin, from the three of you, kind of looking into this and getting handsy.
We're getting handsy. We're getting pokesy with
Damn.
a fucking knife.
Peter, you definitely notice the bit of resistance as Torin, you're kind of poking in there and sifting through the kind of stomach and bile matter that you're trying to figure out, like, what exactly has it eaten. This is gonna sound terrible, but you get a little bit of a tink, and you're able to kind of pry a little bit and pull out, and with a mix of what seems to be longer hair, perhaps of a female, with a mix of flesh, is what seems to be a pin. This particular pin you saw Peter wearing. This particular pin, Peter, you have a second of in that was mailed to you. This is also a pin that you saw etched onto a gravestone earlier.
Hey, what is this? Do you know what this is?
It is one of the badges of the 100 Imperial Majesty's Cossack Guard.
I think probably outside of me letting my real life sailor's mouth slip through in actions, Peter, for the first time, is going to swear with a loud, harsh yeah, and just throw his fucking bayonet on the ground when he sees it. Not throw it, stab it deep into the ground.
Peter curses out, stabs the bayonet down. You guys haven't seen him kind of react like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna share an oh shit look with Torin.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
It doesn't make sense. No, Peter, wait. Look, just listen to me for a second. Leroy's hat is gone.
Oh?
I threw it on the ground when we were back there. It didn't come back with me.
Peter's kind of taking a minute to get composed.
There is a loud, blood-curdling, unfortunate scream, followed by a kind of visceral crunching sound. From the sort of gated trellis entrance that goes down to the underworkings of the stadium, where you can assume the owlbear was kept, among other things, over here to the east of you guys, this kind of opposite setting from the contestants' sitting area, if you will. There's sort of a gating entrance that goes down, almost like a large tunnel of sorts. There is a loud yell, and you see a shield and what seems like maybe the upper third of one of the Amazonian hoplites' bodies is flung, landing and tumbling across the sand. And allow me to add some ambiance. You hear additional yelling, and you hear somebody from inside yell out, "It's loose! It's loose!"
It's loose.
that's not good. Oh shit.
Body fall?
Is that a green dragon?
Yo, it's
Hey,
animated!
Oh
Where did body
shit,
fall?
it's animated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captured Russian green acid dragon seems to have escaped as it comes thundering up, stomping its feet, flailing its head. Every bit of its skin seems to be dripping a greenish acid that lets off little slivers of smoke every time it touches the floor. The remainder of the Amazon's body that was in its maw kind of falls apart as it all drops down to the ground in kind of a mushy mix. And it opens its mouth, additional acid kind of dripping and running down. Before we end today's session, I would like all of you to roll me initiative.
It's loose. It's what do you mean? It's how did it get loose? Now!
Of course, now.
Alright. Grieve later. Kick ass
What
now.
is our luck?
You think we got this, Peter?
Depends on the turn order.
Hoping and assuming Leroy is able to join us as well, I'll roll initiative for him.
Oh, finally!
Yo! Oh no! I'm gonna stop rolling for people. That's bad.
The hamstring.
Give him the chance to re-roll next session.
Yeah, I'll give him a chance to reroll.
Yeah.
That hamstring's just killing him.
Honestly, I think he'd prefer to start off by sitting in the back on the steps.
Yeah, I
and
know.
rolling
Let's
range
put him back over there. That's a very Leroy
Yeah,
place.
that's actually
to
very
start.
Leroy.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, God, I love Tanya the Evil soundtrack. We will pause today's session there, where we will resume, no matter what our head count is, in the Amazonian fight against the should have been captive and partially injured Green Acid Dragon. Till next
Woman
week.
Dragon tamers.
Let's
Shit.
let's see what happens to the party. Catch you guys next time.
The airplane put down at the airstrip on a cold and gloomy day, and the six aboard all knew their homes were very far away. The strife that gripped the forest all around them was their plight. They knew that something out there wasn't right. There were creatures in the bush, and there were soldiers in the woods. There were zealots in the ruins. There was magic that's no good. Grenades were used aplenty, guns and swords brought in, and death. When it finished, only 5 or 6 were left. On the flight back to their quarters, the new place to be their home, the dangers of their future had been surely set in stone. The content of their briefing brought their purpose into light. These 5 strangers had been brought into the fight. There are stories of the Kobold, of Wilhelm Schwartz and Father Peter too. There are tales of the Hoplite, of Leroy Copeland and Hatshu. And while the details of their past and trials were never meant to spawn,